There's so many people there already, we might as well just jump into it. Hello, good time zone, wherever you are, everyone. Hello. Scar's here, Eddie's Keep is here, Pinecone is here. Somebody I'm sure I've missed is here. Hello. It's Wednesday, I think. If it wasn't, I wouldn't be doing this. Jojo, nice to see you. Hello. I had a reason to speak to you, and I can't remember what it is now because I didn't sleep well last night. Oh, did you ever, because I haven't yet, check out the feather supplier that I talked about 2 streams ago? If not, I'll make sure to link it. You posted your blog when I was sleeping at 3 a.m. Wow. Yeah, here we are building puppets and stuff again. I'm loopy today. It's gonna be a little bit of a slow one, but there's some new stuff. First of all, there's some new music. I went and checked that Gabe Chops has a bunch of stuff that I haven't added to the playlist yet. So you may hear some new tracks in addition to the old ones. In fact, I think what's playing right now is there's one that's like a dub reggae of Nintendo tunes. It's pretty good. Making puppets, of course. Sleeping at 2 p.m. when he posted it. Look, it's none of my business what time people sleep. Oh boy. I sure need this. I haven't yet, but I'm super interested. But as long as you got the link, right? If not, I'll grab it in a minute. Because it looks super promising, and they seem pretty serious about cruelty-free, and they have a lot of colors, and it all looks really good. So, sharing the knowledge with my fellow builders. Yeah, we're gonna do something kind of exciting today. Yeah. I was up all night writing. I've seen some of Scarlett's writing. Looking promising. There may be something in the future for us here. And here we go. First one, the Pixels and Puppets podcast. The new episode 3 out now. Visit pixelsandpuppets.com. I've got my marketing voice happening. I'm sorry. I promise I'll stop doing that soon. But it's good. Please go check out the podcast. We get into some puppet stuff that I hadn't planned on for this one, so it was a lot of fun, and there will be more in the future. But speaking of puppet stuff, we're gonna do something on the stream today that I haven't done on stream yet. So that's new and exciting. I figured we've been doing the same thing for the past few streams. We might as well do something new. So, coffee. Coffee is good. My wife is at the office today, so I've got the door open and Jimmy may wander in. I'm not planning on doing any gluing during the stream. Who knows, that may change, but so it's entirely possible we could get a Jimmy cameo. You see a cat walking by. Let's try and get him in here. Yeah, how ya all doing? It's the YouTuber voice. No, YouTuber voice is much more shouty. I can't shout today. I'm too underslept. Let's talk about what we're gonna do. The resin casting is what we're gonna do today. I have an upcoming commission that is gonna require some custom-made eyes. And so I thought this is a good opportunity to show off resin casting, which we haven't done on stream. So I should probably just jump right into it. Greetings from Sweden. Nice. Hello. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to post on Mastodon that I'm going live. I have a little post that I already made here. I haven't yet found any reliable way of auto posting. I mean, I could probably write something because it's an open API to Mastodon automatically when I go live. But also it seems kind of meh to automatically post stuff on Mastodon. It's so kind of handcrafted. I don't like the idea of auto posting, but here we go. We'll post a little thing. Just rewrote that. Pre-wrote it. Sleep. What is sleep? Here we go. So maybe we'll get some folks from Mastodon. Sweden, amazing. Can I assume correctly that you are one of the several people in Sweden who has downloaded the podcast? We're having fun on the Discord tracking what countries have downloaded the podcast. I'm sure Sweden's on the list. Let me see. I just happen to have the stats right here. Where are we at? Stats by country. Sweden is not on the list. Sweden. It's true. There's a lot going on in Europe actually, which I'm very happy about. Anyway, I'm kidding. You want to listen to the podcast? Go listen to the podcast. You want to listen to the podcast? Don't listen to the podcast. Resin casting. I'm really scattered. I apologize. Jamie, you're not late. There's no such thing as late to a stream unless you're the streamer, in which case it's customary to be late. I need some gum and more coffee. Before we get deep into the resin mines here, the resin mine sounds like it would be an actual thing. It's true, everybody else was early. So, like I said, I have a custom commission coming up. It's going to require some specialty eyes. So, we're going to do some resin casting. Let me get to the top cam. I hope this is going to be good enough. We can also switch to the close-up cam if we need to. So, when I make resin cast eyes, I use these. These are silicone molds. These are used for like candy and like Easter eggs and muffins and cakes and things like that, but they're silicone rubber. So they're all flexible. And they're really, really good for casting stuff in because nothing sticks to them. So they just pop right out. An interview for a gaming group the other day, and part of the interview was reviewing my YouTube content. The interviewer said, Chanel has a fear of puppets. Nice. I just noticed that my face cam here is too zoomed out. Oh well, too late now. I mean, I could probably fix it, but you don't mind seeing Gus in the Oracle back there. So yeah, here we go. This is silicone molds. Like I said, they're used for baking. You can just search for like silicone candy molds. There's also silicone molds that are especially for jewelry and stuff like that. But I just use these baking ones. So I've got these ovals, and I got these are just like hemispheres. Now, this is all well and fine. We don't mind seeing the puppets. Yeah. Tell her to watch OP for some exposure therapy. Well, you know. I have been told, oh, charismatic creep. Thank you. Checking on the feathers, I think I might buy something fantastic. Yeah, right. Yeah, I got to get on that. I got to do a big supply order soon, so that's on the list. Losing track already. Wow. Just noticing there's some. One thing you don't want in your silicone molds, this is tip number one, is any of the bits of fur or hair or dust or any little cruft or schmaltz. You just want to get that out of there. Which in a house with cats and puppets, let me tell you, is a challenge. So yes, one of the issues with resin casting, particularly eyes, is weight, because resin is heavy. So if I were to make this into an eye, let's say, it's a good size, but if solid resin like this is way too heavy for my standards, at least. So what I do with these, instead of filling them up, I only fill them up part way, and I make sort of wafer sized. So I want really kind of a little disc, but I want that disc to be of a certain diameter. So that's why I have these big hemispheres, so I can fill it up part way and just get a nice thin disc, which isn't heavy. The tricky part there, of course, is getting them all the same, which is hard because the resin is very thick and syrupy. It's hard to measure accurately. So I do what I always do with everything else. I usually just eyeball it. I try and get them all even, and then I match up the ones that are the closest, and then I sand down until they kind of, match up. So what I'm going to do, this one, I have 2 of these, so I've sort of sandwiched these like this, because sometimes if you sit them on a flat surface, the bottom can kind of flatten out a bit because it just presses in on the silicone. I don't have another one of these, so we're going to have to make do. Eyeball it, I know, right? But this one, that's why I've sandwiched it like this. So this way the scoop stays scooped something. I don't know. But yeah, let's just get right to it. So the kind of resin that I prefer, let's get this out of the way here, is this stuff. This is Fast Cast. There are other brands available. This is not an endorsement. But what I like about Fast Cast, there are a few brands that are like this. Is it most of the 2-part resin that you get will cure transparent, and this cures white. So I don't have to paint it, I don't have to do anything, I don't have to add pigment, I could just use them right out of the mold. So that's why I like this stuff. This is getting hard to find. Like I can import this and it's ridiculously expensive now. I just happen to have this left over from the last time I did it. So I'm gonna have to find an alternative, or just use transparent resin and add pigment. You can get pigments for it. But this is real simple. It is a 1-to-1 ratio. It's 2 parts. This stuff and this stuff, and it's literally equal parts of each. And that's it. And then you mix them together. Now, this stuff, 2 points. This doesn't produce fumes, but you don't want to get it on your skin. It can give you like a skin reaction. And the other thing is it cures pretty fast. I know it completely dries in like 10 minutes or so, but like you've only got like maybe 5 minutes of working time. Now what is this? We were actually getting comment spam, I don't believe it, from somebody who just followed as well. Excuse me while I ban somebody. Nonsense. Yeah, they just followed too. So I don't know how much of a bot they are, but it's certainly uncool and not welcome. Veronica Explains, the wonderful Linux YouTuber, just made a video about this kind of thing as well. Where are they? Oh, they're on Twitch. Oh, sorry, I thought it was on YouTube. Only humans and puppets love. Oh, thank you, Jamie. Jamie caught them. Much appreciated. There we go. See, no tolerance for nonsense here on Operation Puppet. Much appreciated. Yeah. Anyway, back to the subject at hand. Back to the important stuff on puppets. So yes. 2-part resin, don't get it on your skin, so wear gloves. It doesn't create fumes, but it's also always a good idea to work in a ventilated space. I got the window open. It's also like 1,000 degrees outside, because it's February. And you gotta kind of work fast. So I work in sort of little batches, and that's why I've got a mixing cup here. This is where the 2 parts go in, and I've got 2 separate cups that I measure equal parts in. And I keep these separate, and then I mix them in the 3rd container. So, yeah, that's right. Scar ChatGPT, was it? So that's it. And then we got some popsicle sticks to stir it up with. But you do have to work fast because this stuff sets up pretty fast. Nate Gullion. I hope Nate, thank you. I hope you're a real human. And we'll see, because if we get more spam, then we'll find out. But I don't know, I just posted it on Mastodon, so who knows? Maybe they're from Mastodon. Welcome. Either way. Yes, real human. I love real humans. Welcome, thank you. On Twitch, there we go. Cool. Welcome to the Puppet Pit. Oh, there's my email telling me that I've gone live. Thanks. I'm gonna make sure my phone is on, watch is on Do Not Disturb. There we go. Welcome, Real Human. Yeah, so we're just gonna get right to it because, like I said, we gotta work fast with this stuff. So forgive me if I miss chat, but I do have to focus on what I'm doing. So yeah, so all I'm doing is I'm measuring equal parts of A and B, pouring them into the thing, and then mixing them. And then we're gonna pour them hopefully equal measures into each mold. And then we just sit. I know you're a real boy, Joe. Ain't got no strings to hold you down, to make you fret or make you frown. Copyright violation. Yeah, there's the bot. Okay, let me see. This is also a bit messy. He says about to do it and not putting gloves on because despite the fact that all of the words I just said, I wasn't listening to myself. See? See? Safety first, kids. Get some gloves that don't have barge on them. We have new humans already. Thank you, Nate. I appreciate it. Lurkers are welcome. The intention of the stream is to just be a chill hangout place. So feel free to chill and hang out. Okay, get the gloves. So, like I said, equal parts A and B, mix it up really well, and then we pour it into the molds. And like I say, I'm only filling these up part way so we get a nice thin lozenge. That's the goal. I think the offer promotion of the channel viewers, followers, chatbots string was in the wrong term list. Okay, it was permitted and not blocked. What? Did I do that? If so, was I asleep that? I don't know. Thank you, Jamie. Look, Jamie, mod on the case. Doing the mod thing. All right, here we go. This stuff is old. I hope it's still viable. I don't know. This stuff is like literally over a year old, so I guess we'll find out. Here we go. One measure of this. How much of this we're gonna get through, actually. Do the mod thing. Extremely 80s dance. Uh-oh, this one's... Uh-oh. We may have a problem. This one's like sealed. Oh boy. Let's try the vice grips. See if we can get this thing open. Yikes, I must have got some resin on the cap. Some of the part A or B. Well, this is part A, so I got part B on the cap. Of course, because, you know, of course I did. I really should have tried to open these. Oh, I hear cracking noises. Oh, there we go. I got it. Isn't learning fun? I was actually debating smashing. I have a mallet that I use for punching things, as you know. Okay, there we go. It's open. I hope this works. If it wasn't viable, it would probably be solid, and they're both liquid, so I guess we'll find out. Vice grips are the solution to all your stuck resin problems. We're doing a lot of marketing speak today. I've already got goop on my gloves. See, this is why we wear gloves and have paper towels standing by. All right. So here we go. We're gonna pour in part A. And remember, I should have labeled these. You see, I'm starting. Okay. Oh boy. I don't remember if this is A or B. We'll have to get new ones of these. Thankfully, they come in kits, so I have a whole bunch. Part B. We go. Or A, whatever one this was. We're just going to throw these right out because these are now, since they're unknown, they are useless. Because if I pour the wrong one in, it's just going to set up. And... Epic Solo, hello. Nice to see you. So this is really full. I shouldn't have filled it up this far. Boy, we're just flying today. Can you make a living building puppets in the US? Well, I don't know because I'm in Canada. There are many factors. It depends on how you work. It depends on how often you work. It depends on how you market yourself. It depends on what your prices are. It depends on what your material costs are. I kind of break even, I guess. Sometimes more, sometimes less. Yeah, it is Operation Puppet Laboratories. It really is. Okay, here we go. So I've got it all mixed. And now we just pour. And like I say, I'm just kind of eyeballing this. You don't want to mix too vigorously because you don't want bubbles. Bubbles bad. I also want to try and get it to lie down flat. These are the ones I need for the build, so that's why I'm doing these first. We don't actually have a lot of resin, so I'm hoping I can get enough out of this. This unfortunately means that all of these have to work out, which is usually not the case, and there isn't quite enough resin for the last one. Oh well. We'll just have to live with it. Thank you, Jojo. Yes, making a living off of replicas is disreputable. Don't do it. I have an entire blog post on operationpuppet.com specifically about that. By all means, go and dig that up. You've got this resin everywhere. There's just more resin than man at this point. You need a pressure vessel to get the bubbles out of mixed resin. Yes, exactly. Yeah, fast cast sets up too fast. Look, it's already going white, you see? It's already doing its thing. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wait for this to set up and then we're just gonna do it again. I don't even think I'm gonna do these ovals because I don't really need these. It's these circles that I need for the build, so. And I don't have that much resin. So we're just gonna get rid of this entirely. And while this is setting up, it's too late to really add to that. I don't know, let's see. Maybe we can fudge it. I'm really flying by the seat of my pants here. This is a bad idea. Welcome to the bad idea portion of this stream. I'm just gonna try and top that one up. And see if we can get there. Come on, do it. I think maybe we'll be okay. Let's see, this one looks like it could use some more. And this one looks like it could use some more. I don't even know if this is going to work. This may layer it. I just end up gluing them together. We'll see. I haven't done a lot of this. Done enough to know that this is a bad idea, what I'm currently doing, but hey, that's what streaming is for. Hello, Zap, nice to see you. It is, it's really neat. It just, chemical reactions are happening before our eyes. This is full of resin that's going to harden soon. I didn't think this through. Well, let's see. Can we maybe get two of these? Two small ones. Let's see. We're really winging it now. Maybe this will work. This looks about right. It'd be fun if this is the one that turns out. That's the thing with resin, right? Sometimes you just don't know what's gonna happen. All right, there we go. All of the resin is poured. And now it's a waiting game. So, there's resin everywhere. I'm just gonna get rid of these gloves because it's a whole thing. Sure, I've got the paper towel standing by. I know. Living a dream. Just all the resin all the time. Let's switch back to here. I should have had a little camera so you can watch the resin, but I mean, you know, if you want, we can. If you really want to watch the resin, you've seen it now. This is it. This is it until it hardens. So yeah, it turns white. See, white. There we go. You've seen the magic. I'm gonna have more coffee. We're just gonna hang out because this is now just waiting, and my table is occupied. Oh, this tree really resonates with me. He said those words. He did it. Operation Puppet is not responsible for the sense of humor of some or most of its mods. Oh boy. I am busy. I have a Live Hands Monster to finish by Friday. And I really just kind of started. Well, I did just start yesterday. I think I'll do it though. I think I'll be fine. Because Monday I finished the Greebly. As you may know, if you listened to the podcast pixelsandpuppets.com. I am so far on track for what I laid out for the week. So I finished the Blue Greebly, and then I'm working on the Live Hands Monster with the really neat purple fur, which I would get out right now, except for there's some exposed resin here, and the last thing we need is fur flying around, so. Yeah, I'm working on painting rather than puppets. Ooh, painting. What you painting? Yeah. It's one of those, my brain is so scattered today. I think because like before the stream, I made sure I needed to get some stuff done, so I sewed. Furry eyeballs, nice. No, wait, furry eyeballs aren't nice. Well, I guess it depends on who you are, but furry eyeballs, I guess, could be nice. Yeah, no, we don't. Now that's actually an interesting tip. What happens if you get like fur, whatever, stuck in there in the resin is it kind of ends up looking bloodshot, right? Because there's just little fibers of stuff in it, and you can do that on purpose. Then, if you want to make like a veiny, bloodshot eye, you can put like little fibers of red fur and stuff in the resin, and sand it down a bit, and it will look like these really gross veins and stuff. It's a technique. If you do it on purpose, it's good. If you don't, it's not so good. So interestingly, what I'm seeing here, I don't think that the camera will be able to pick this up. Let's see if we can do the close-up cam. Forgive me the shaky cam. If you see this far one here, let me see if I can get the camera angled nicely. This is the one that we sort of topped up. The surface is really bumpy. It's not flat. It's not lying flat. It's interesting. I wonder if that's bubbles. Probably bubbles. I don't know. We'll see. These are all going to get sanded down anyway, so. Speaking of someone who, mainlined how it's made for years, that's how they make artificial replacement eyes look real. And they had fine red thread along the surface to cover it and clear resin to make it shiny. Yeah. Yeah, it's an old effects technique. You know, the Rick Baker crowd does that kind of thing. I've been trying to make one myself for a long time and don't get to do it right. Yeah, it's tough. I've talked about this before. As a matter of fact, today's blog on OperationPuppet.com is specifically about reproducing things and making things to an exact spec. And that's one of the difficult things. If you're making something that's supposed to look like a thing, for example, a Kermit. Kermit has to look like Kermit, right? Everyone's got an idea for what Kermit looks like in their head. And so since you have to build to that, it's really hard, and little tiny things can seem off, can make it seem like you're not quite right. that's why, like, you know, I built my 2 Kermits, and I'm not interested in building any more because it was not a chore, but like it was a trial. It was the most difficult build I've ever done. Surely replicating Dr. Teeth would be much easier to do. Replicating anything, that's the point, right? Making anything that's supposed to look like a thing that exists is difficult. But especially something as iconic as Kermit, right? Is just every little tiny thing can go wrong, making sure he doesn't put the coffee anywhere near the resin. But you know, it took me, for example, on this Kermit, my other Kermit, my half body that is scaled down. Here. Hello, everyone. One of the eyes isn't quite right. I'm sure folks have noticed this with my Kermit. But I spent like 20 minutes just placing the eyes and trying to get them in the right position. The angle of the nose, look at the bump in the back of his head from the stand. Just smooth that out, it's fine. It's just every little detail matters, right? Because what I wanted, and the other thing, of course, is like something like Kermit, there isn't just one design. Kermit, even the modern Kermit, has changed quite a lot over the years. So you kind of have to pick one and just kind of go for that, or do what I did and just kind of make a hybrid of like, this is my rendition of Kermit. So this isn't a replica, this is a rendition. Yeah. Hi, everyone. So this is how it's done, huh? It's a bit stressing to watch, actually. I'm gonna go away now. Yeah! Any excuse to get your Kermit out. Yes, it's true, Jojo. Eye placement, particularly for Kermit, is, like I said, I spent, and I'm talking moving it millimeters, right? Just like, oh, I'm a millimeter too far this way or that way. I got it pretty good on the full body Kermit. I didn't get it quite as perfect as I would like on the half body, but I'm done. I got my Kermits. I have a nice Kermit sitting in the background here. Kermit lives there. It's nice to walk by Kermit, and that's it. I'm done. I've made the replica that I wanted to make, and that's all I'm doing. So let's see how we doing with the resin here. Okay, now the other thing to remember, go back to the top cam, this stuff gets hot, and it actually gets quite hot. This is one of the reasons we use silicone molds, because silicone, this can go in the oven, right? It's heat resistant. From a viewer's point of view, the eyes look fine, but I'm hardly a puppet master, especially because who likes washing. Well, you know, who is really? Who among us? So this isn't bad. This feels pretty solid. It's still quite warm, though. Like, you could actually burn yourself on this, so be very careful. Yeah, it's an exothermic reaction. Thank you, Science Jamie. Yeah, that's still pretty warm. We're gonna have to let that cool before I try and pop it out of there. This is very lumpy. I'm gonna have to do a lot of filing and stuff to get this into a usable state. But some of these I think will be okay. I basically have to make 3 pairs, so I'm probably gonna have to another run at making these. But we'll see. Something about that second mix didn't quite go. It's lumpier than I would like it to be. Oh well. Sometimes it gets lumpy. What can you do? You know, it's just the way it is. Things are getting heated at the resin table. Thank you. Oh boy. So we are still kind of in the waiting game here. This is a chill stream even for me, because I really can't do anything right now, because the other thing I have to do, well, there's 2 things we could do. I have to sew in a mouth plate, which is just me sitting here hand sewing. So, you know, I'm still doing ping pong ball. Oh, I do ping pong ball eyes all the time. I love ping pong ball eyes. I am an advocate for ping pong ball eyes. I know some people don't like them. Some people go to lengths to like resin cast spheres that are hollow on the inside and do all these things. The problem with that, it's really admirable, the effort, but you end up with something that everybody who sees it goes, that looks like a ping pong ball. If it ends up looking like a ping pong ball, you might as well start with a ping pong ball, because ping pong balls are the perfect size, the perfect shape, and the perfect weight. So why not use them, right? Anyway, that's my little ping pong ball rant. Ping pong balls are awesome. I use them all the time. What was I going on about? Oh yeah, so we could sit here. Wouldn't a ping pong ball be cheaper and lighter than resin cast? Yes, absolutely. That's why I use them so much. For a sphere, absolutely ping pong ball eyes. And in fact, I've talked at length in previous streams about the different sizes of ping pong balls that you can get. I use them all the time. All of my live hand monsters with Blink Mech are all jumbo ping pong balls, 55 millimeter ping pong balls. Yeah, and also cheaper. Yep, for sure. There's everything that you want, a puppet eye to be is already in a ping pong ball. Just be careful trying to cut them in half, because that can be tricky and dangerous. So yes, I have 2 things left to do for the day that we could do on stream. One of them is just me sitting here hand sewing a mouth plate. The other one, and this is, I'm a little bit hesitant to do this on stream, although it would be fun, and we've never done it before, and I do need to do a little bit of it, is vacuum forming. I have a little dental vacuum form, and I want to make some shells to go over jumbo ping pong ball eyes, so I can do eyelids. And sewing, I know Zep's vote. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Well, now the reason I am hesitant to do the vacuum form stuff is because there is an element of risk, because it's very hot. Like the heating element on the vacuum form machine gets very hot. And you really need to focus and be aware of the heat, and because you can burn yourself, you can literally set stuff on fire. So whenever I vacuum form, I kind of take extra safety precautions just to make sure everything is fine. And on stream, yeah, right? And I'm not sure the plastic that I have in the vacuum form machine is going to work. That's the other thing, is you can burn a hole in the plastic if you're not very, very careful. So I don't know. We'll see how confident I feel. When we get through the resin stuff, it's starting to cool. Starting to get there. We'll pop these out, and then we'll see how I feel. Oh wow, it's only 39 minutes in. I thought this would take a lot longer than it is. Maybe we'll do it all. Maybe I'll do that. Here's the deal. I just had the idea. I'm going to do the hand sewing. We're going to sit and chat. My wife, everybody, Margaret, in the YouTube chat. Yes, no, that's why I'm a little hesitant to do it. I'm going to do the hand sewing, and then if I finish the hand sewing before the end of the stream, we'll see about getting the vacuum form machine out. We'll see. Safety first, fire second, yes. Zep, you're a menace. Not even a phantom menace, just a menace. Straight up menace. There's no qualifier on that menacing. Yeah, hand sewing and fire. Okay, let's have a look at these. See where we're at. So this is cool enough to touch now. I think you should do the hand sewing and not let the house catch on fire myself. Thank you. The Indiescape is the voice of reason here. There's quite a few bubbles in these. I'm gonna have to do some work with these. But anyway, this got all goopy and gummy and yucky and bad. Nope, that one's not gonna work. Here, let's go to the close up again. This is what can happen if you get too many bubbles. You see, that's bad. Now, it's not impossible. This can be rescued because you can take like a filling compound and fill it in and sand it off and so. I think I'm going to actually leave it a bit longer because it seems like maybe that is a symptom either of bubbles or of pulling it out too early. Actually, no, it's a little bit gummy. So, too quick because you know why? Because we're on chat or on stream. So I'm rushing. Don't rush. Don't rush. Nobody's in a hurry. Nothing will happen if you don't get it done today. Oh, here, this is fun. Check this out. So this pouring vessel I have here is silicone rubber itself. So when the resin sets up inside, you can just pull it out and you get the skin out of the inside. And this could just be disposed of safely. Oh, I've got a fire extinguisher standing by. I'm very safety conscious. So no worries there. I got fire in my mouth. I want to avoid getting it in the gum I'm chewing. Eyeball skin. Yes, very attractive. So we're just gonna hang out a little bit more. I want to let these sit up for a little bit longer just to make sure that at least a couple of them will come out okay. How long have I been making puppets? So just over 3 years. Seriously, I started really when I was a kid, and then there's a long history. If you want to go back and hear the full history, here he goes again. Episode 0, pixelsandpuppets.com, has my entire sort of puppet journey. But I kind of forgot about it as a kid. I had no idea what I was doing for real. And then, so it was about 3 years ago after I started the YouTube channel with the Oracle, and I wasn't able to get the puppets I wanted for the show, and thought, well, I'm just going to make these myself. And it just kind of evolved from there into everything I'm doing now, including professionally. So that's cool. It's not easy. It's definitely not easy to make a living, but it's not impossible either. You really have to kind of be dedicated to it. It's just one of those things, it's you get out of it what you put into it. But yeah, about 3 years, professionally about 3 years. Hobbyist off and on since I was like 10. Oh, well. I'm not sure I didn't plan this well. Like I said, these streams are just me doing what I would be doing during the day anyway, and at this point I'd probably be going and washing dishes or something just to wait. But I've already washed the dishes. There's no dishes to wash. So. These are solid enough now that I don't really have to worry about the fur. So why don't I grab, at least just to avoid wasting time, I'm going to grab the hand sewing I have to do. And we'll just hang out while I hand sew. I could also get more coffee. I've already got some. So get this out of the way. Make sure we don't put thread. There's some goop around somewhere that I don't know where it is, and it's concerning me. I think I see it. Okay. So this is the skin of the Live Hands monster I'm currently working on. You can see the nice fur I was talking about. It's a very, very cool color. And I've already got the mouth plate, or the mouth lining, clipped in there, and I gotta sew this in. So that's what we're doing now, while we're waiting for the resin to completely set up. I'm not sure any of these are gonna work out. I think we got too many bubbles in. Because again, I was working fast because I'm on the stream. So, oh well. I'll take another run at it. This is more for demonstration purposes. We're only 46 minutes in. This is going to be quite the stream. I think we might be busting out the vacuum form machine. I got it right here, ready to go. So we'll see. And I do have to use it for this build, so I don't know. I'm wary. It's fine. I'm careful. It's fine. Anyway, enjoy the hand sewing and the music. don't know at this juncture. Someone bring Kevin virus control. Yeah, don't worry. I got. It's around the corner. I got one. Be good. If fire happens, we clip it so we don't miss your final moments. Nice. Nice to know the audience cares. I'll go viral finally. I don't quite know what's happening, if anything, this weekend. I don't know, Jamie, if you're around. Do we want to think about streaming or something? Or I'm thinking possibly at some point soon, under the auspices of Pixels and Puppets, pretend I put the Pixels and Puppets logo up, of doing some streaming of just me working on the Neverwinter server, which I know has nothing to do, well, very, very tangentially related to Puppets, but it's fun, and I think it might be even interesting for some people to watch. That weekend is pretty open. Does Frankie Play make a comeback? Is the question before us. I kind of feel like it. Kind of in the Frankie Play mood. I don't know what we'd play. Do we hit up that Ghostbusters games? Possibly. I guess it would depend on the others. We'll be in touch on the messaging apps. Minecraft, obviously. We could always rock a stone. It's true. We could also, because we talked about, I don't know if it was on the podcast or not, we talked about possibly doing the final goodbye for Marvel's Avengers. That's not out of the question. It's still on Game Pass. Hey, Roomba, want to see Frankie make a human leather hat? I don't feel good about this. This isn't right. I know I'm a troll. This is just playing to a stereotype. They're still pumping out Twitch rewards for Marvel's Avengers. I'm sure that's automated. It was pre-scheduled. It was just, you know, they didn't know. Frankie builds humans. All right, you start with some mitochondrial DNA. It's going to get a bit messy from this point on. Think we got some weather either happening or about to happen. I got the window fully open. It is 11 degrees Celsius currently in February. It's February 15th. This is not normal. Well, I guess it is. It's the new normal. And why there's so many fluids involved in making humans? Very little fluid involved in making me, trust me. Don't forget to add the brain oil into buying Twitter. Badoom-tsh. Scarlett gets the Frankie comedy reward of the stream. This is the best joke so far. Over to you, Zep. Surgeon Simulator for family-friendly way of doing that. I'm not sure I want to play Surgeon Simulator. I'm a bit squeamish with stuff like that. I've seen enough Surgeon Simulator to know that I don't really want to play that. I've just got a serious case of Neverwinter brain. That's the entirety of my quote-unquote free time is just Neverwinter. Where you have to operate in the back of a moving ambulance. anything health related I get weird about because I cannot help but thinking this is going to happen to me. At some point, I'm going to be the guy in the stretcher. I actually have to check to see how functional the Frankie VTuber avatar is. I haven't looked at it in a while, so I don't even know what shape it's in. You know how these streaming setups are weird. You can not touch them. You cannot do anything. And the longer period of time that goes by, there's like a decay or something. Things just break for no reason, and then you have to fix them also for no reason. But I think at some point, maybe, I doubt this weekend, I won't be ready for it yet, but I think I will be streaming some, under the Pixels and Puppets umbrella, I'll be streaming some me working on the Neverwinter server. I gotta come up with a new stream layout for that. That's actually the most fun part for me of streaming, is coming up with the layouts and the what transitions you're gonna use. And I like setting stuff up. I don't know why. Is the producer in me that I've just given a name to and called it Frankie. I would like the new music, the newish music. I can barely hear it, so you tell me, is it horrible or not? So after this goes in, that's when I gotta bust out the barge and put the skull in. Then, speaking of surgery, I gotta close the back, which is always fun because that involves ladder stitching fur. If I ever... Music is good, thank you. If I was... Yeah, there was some Reggae Legends of Zelda. Yeah, that's one of the new, or the newish Game Chops albums, is like dub reggae versions of Nintendo themes. So I added that to the list. Hopefully, I mean, I double checked. It should all be Creative Commons licensed, which I don't understand because there's some stuff there that's definitely copyrighted, but I don't know. We'll see. Oh yes, if I'm ever in the lucky position of being able to hire somebody as an assistant, unlikely that will ever be the case. But if I am, that's going to be the entrance exam. Can you ladder stitch fur? Not can you, because it's not difficult. Do you have the patience to ladder stitch fur? I hate it. There's going to be two things. Can you do hands and ladder stitch fur? And if you can, you're hired. Oh, see, this eats up the time. This is good. Patience with the coordination. Yeah, it's a whole thing. Let me tell you, I didn't start wearing bifocals till I started doing this. You know what I mean? Speaking of which. My brand's making you bifocal contact lens. I didn't even know that was a thing. How does that even work? I only have a limited number of fingers to stab. I mean, Jamie, I'm sure it's probably difficult to describe how it works in chat, so don't even try. But when next time we see each other, let me know, because that's just because the way that these work is, I'm literally, if I look up here, it's one focus, and if I look down here, it's another. Is it the same? Because I don't even understand if it's floating on your eyeball. I don't understand how that works, but I don't understand how contact lenses work, to be honest. I'm almost phobic about stuff touching my eye. I could never wear a contact lens. Concentric rings of different focal distance. And your eye does imperceptible movements to focus on. Oh yeah, you know what? I remember reading about that as when reading about like the development of some VR stuff. And these little micro movements and micro focuses that the eye does that you never notice, but it's doing it all the time. And that if you didn't do it, everything would just be a blur because you get so much motion blur. It's basically the eye filtering out motion blur, which is cool. We talked about everything here in the Puppet Pit. Now, the branding has come full circle. This is now the Puppet Pit. Used to be the Puppet Minds. Didn't think it through. Never do. Takes my eye a second to click into the correct focus distance or close up, but it's pretty neat. If I could wear contact lenses, I'd consider it, but I A, can't, and B, I like my glasses. They're part of my whole thing now, so. It's all about branding. I was hoping for Cyber Eyes. I don't know, not if it involves Neuralink. Screaming Monkey Research Labs. Robots and puppets, I think Phil Fletcher is an android. There we go, brought it full circle. The reason I think Phil Fletcher is an android is because the builds he makes are so unbelievably precise and fast. It seems inhuman. I understand he's also a very nice fellow. Shout out Phil if you're out there anywhere. I'm sure Phil knows all about me. Definitely. Yeah, there's a whole album of Stardew Valley stuff. He's the laser cutter, yeah. Laser cutters for eyes. Hey, we hit the hour mark. This is definitely going to take the rest of the stream. We will do vacuum forming at some point, I promise. But at this point, let's check our resin situation here. A Resident Evil video games. Trying to find a link somewhere. Okay. Travis, hello, Rainier McFarland. Yeah, the Phil, it is. It seems unnatural how precise Phil is. It's weird. You think Phil has the Muppet patterns? If you think, oh no, he does not. I guarantee you, he does not. He just does that. Like I said, it's inhuman. I don't understand how he does it. I mean, it's like decades of practice is how he does it, but it's freakishly good. It doesn't make sense. It's like he's got just a machine in his head that can just stamp these things out. Anyway, let's have a look at what we got here. So that one's garbage. Oh, that one's not bad. That might be usable. Here, let's see. Get to the close-up. That one's a little bit better. I can sand that down into something usable. You see the little flat side on the light glints off of the flatness there? That's because it was sitting on the table. That's still okay. That'll be fine. That's usable. Oh, that one's usable too. There we go. There's a little bit of flecky something in there, but it'll be okay. It's not bad. He's also worked with the real Muppets, so yeah, but definitely. I mean, he fills it up close, right? So, okay, we got some usable ones. So you can see what I was talking about with the threads, though. I'll get some fur in there. I can sand those out. That'll be okay, but still, you want to avoid that if possible. Oop, that one's terrible. That one got all grungy. It's 2 rejects to 3 accepted. Not a bad score. That one's a bit grungy too. I don't think we'll use that one. So we got half the batch, came out okay. Why do you think hackers called that? Because he's a computer. It's entirely possible. Okay. These are rejects. Let's see how our ovals did. That's not too bad. Can sand that down into something usable. Likewise, okay, so these are going to be usable too, and you can see how nice these will look as eyes at the top. All right, so this is not, again, the point is I didn't fill it up all the way, so these are nice and thin, lozenges, so these don't weigh anything. You don't want to fill these up full because this is going to be a big lump of resin. It's going to be too heavy. Creature Works, hello, welcome. I'm doing some very poor resin casting. Perfect time for another professional puppet builder to join me when I'm having, struggling with resin bubbles. I'll bet you can empathize with the resin bubbles. Also, I've got resin on my work surface. So there we go. Half the batch turned out okay. Half the batch did not. I'll make another pass of this, and we'll get it done. But not on stream. Oh boy, that's one of the or high to get rid of the bubbles. Good tip. I haven't done a lot of resin casting, so I didn't know that. So thank you. That's look at this. Look at this. We got the pros. The pros knows. Yeah, I definitely need more practice resin casting. There's no question. I don't have to do it very often, but I'm going to have to start doing it more and more. So. Good to get the practice in. I'm going to get back to the hand sewing. To be honest, that is the top priority at this point. I got to get this done. You see, that's the pour high to get rid of bubbles is counterintuitive to me from cooking, because when you're cooking, you want to pour low to avoid splashback, right? So that's where my instinct was. When thin stream as high up as you can get, I hate the resin silicone, yeah. But the good, excellent pro tip, thank you. Resin is heavy, any way to reduce the weight? Well, that's one of the reasons why I don't fill these up. That's why I make a thin pour, and I just make little thin lozenges. And that's why I use the big molds, although I'm only making a smaller version of it, right? It is for the weight. You don't want to fill those things up. It's way too heavy. On the subject of ping pong ball eyes, can I ask how you attach them? I've tried glue. Oh yeah, I'll bet you. You tried dull joints. I think I found my preferred method yet. Yes, I can. You know what? I do actually have to make a back plate for this build that I'm currently working on. So why don't we do that? Let's do that. And I'll show you how I do it. I have done it on stream before, but of course, who knows who's seen what. So it's not a bad thing to show. Let's go to the top cam. So what I do when I need to attach ping pong balls, or spheres of any kind, and you want to make sure that there's a couple of things that you want to make sure you do. You want to make sure that they're sort of together, that there's a connection between them, because otherwise they're going to wobble around separately. And of course you want to make sure that they're connected solidly. So if I'm going to attach spheres, ping pong balls usually, I make a back plate with a couple of screws in them. This is a pretty common method. And I sandwich that between the fleece and the foam. So it's just kind of anchored in there. I will occasionally also inject some glue or some epoxy into the ping pong ball itself. So when it pools, it sets around the screw. But I'll show you the little back plate that I'm going to make. So I'm making a back plate. It's a similar way to the way you make like a plate for the inside of the hand, right? When you just punch the holes for the fingers. Let me see if I've got it here. These are going to be 55 millimeter ping pong balls. These are the big ones. So 5-minute epoxy is your friend, absolutely. I have a little template that I made this to make this go a little faster. Now, what you make the back plate out of, I usually just use some scrap plastic that's lying around. Oh, so many patterns. Good heavens. I'll find it. Oh, found it. 55 millimeter. There we go. So all this is just 55 millimeter equidistant apart. So when they are together, they sit together. So this is like in the center. So these holes are 55 millimeters apart. And so that will depend on the size of the ping pong ball you're using. If you're using 40 millimeter, make it 40 millimeters apart. For example. Let me see what plastic I have. I want to make it relatively robust because these are kind of big. So I don't want to use the really thin plastic. Let me see what else I have kicking around. I have some really thin plastic, and that's not going to do. I don't have a lot of scrap. I cleaned out most of my scrap recently and then regretted it immediately. I use thermoplast, but it's expensive. I have a friend who does casts in medical field, so that gives me scraps that they would shoot out, but good for what I need. Wow, that's really good. So that's the stuff you put on the vacuum form machine, right? Speaking of the vacuum form machine. Okay, here we go. I've got some of this. This is just some, speaking of expensive thermoplastic. We'll do it with this stuff. I don't even remember where I got this. It's just a sheet of plastic. What if you really want far apart our eyeballs? Yeah, you would do the template, but you would just make the holes further apart, however far apart you want it, and make sure you mark the center, which is hard to see, I know, on the camera here. But see, the center lines are marked. No, it's plastic that becomes soft when heated by heat gun or boiled. Yeah, so that's like the stuff they use for, I know it's for medical stuff as well. Well, the stuff you put on the little dental vacuum form machines. There's also, I think this is the stuff that I have right here. This is the stuff they make like car dashboards out of, that kind of thermoplastic. 80-foot will do as long as it's rigged and won't break over time. Yeah. Exactly. So whenever I'm drawing on something dark like this that you can't see, I always use these. Oops. I always use these silver or gold Sharpies, or like basically paint. And then I get it all over my fingers. Of course. As you do. The problem with this is I'm gonna have to get the little drill press out and actually drill the holes for this. And I'm also gonna have to sand down the edges because you don't want anything sharp in there. And this stuff makes like this really nasty black dust. It's like coal dust. It's terrible. Thank you, CreatureWorks. I'm a huge admirer of yours as well. In fact, when I was starting this, yours was some of the first videos I watched. Everybody, check out CreatureWorks. Go sub to their channel. Also, fellow Canadian. Also, I'm out of coffee. So for cutting this stuff, it's relatively thin, so I'm going to use my big junk shears. A bit of a struggle, but I've been working out. You know, I'm doing arm curls. We'll see how. This doesn't have to be super neat or anything. It's just this has to be there for a place for the screws to sit in, right? So. There we go. This is real quick and dirty. We'll get there. Whatever gets the job done, you know what I'm saying? Here we go. Still on the big build. Yeah. Well, this is the thing. Like, you know, we all got to start somewhere. I mean, believe me, I look at the stuff I make now, the stuff I made 3 years ago, and I'm like, ooh, they do better than that. So what I'm gonna do, I've got an old piece of scrap fleece here. I keep this around for when I just need to clean dusty things. This is a duster. It's also some of the nice fleece from Weird Kids store, which I feel a bit bad about, but it's too small to do anything with, so maybe eyelids. But I'm gonna take an emery board and I'm gonna file down the edges, but I'm gonna get that horrible black dust everywhere, which you don't want to breathe in, so don't inhale deeply. But I'm just gonna make sure this has some nice round edges so it's not cutting into the fleece or the foam. I know you can't see that, it's off camera. You just gotta trust me, I'm filing down the edges. Since this is a larger puppet, that's why I'm doing it out of this sort of thicker, more rigid plastic, just to make sure there's enough kind of bulk there to hold it in place. Get orange, it's like what I had custom dyed at the Weird Kids store. I'm not sure, I think this might be their stock orange. I was looking for a replacement for the mac and cheese from Puppet Pelts. I'm not even sure what's going on. I should check what's going on with Puppet Pelts. This is fine. It's a nice orange. It'll do. I love the texture of the stuff from Weird Kids. So, which you can get that by just taking like the Georgia Stage Nyla fleece and putting it through a wash cycle. Gently, not a dryer. That's just too much work. I'd rather just let Weird Kid do the work. For Wembley's tail, I use L200 for the lower half of Wembley, then take a doll joint and epoxy modeler's wire to the base. Ooh, good call. And to install reverse the doll joint. So yeah, the post faces out of the body. That's what I do for, I've done that for several nose types. I'll do that exactly the same thing. I'll put the end of the doll joint in the nose and then poke the doll joint out of the skull. It's a really good method and really solid. Doll joints are incredibly useful. Get them. I use them for all kinds of things. I'm gonna for these eyes, I'm gonna epoxy doll joints onto the back of these. Incredibly useful. Only if you want stuff attached permanently, FYI. That's the other thing, is doll joints are one shot only. Okay, there we go. So I'm gonna take a quick break and wash my hands because I got that horrible black dust all over it right now, and I need more coffee. So I will be right back momentarily. Look at we got the professional puppet builders network going on here. We should call it something, perhaps Operation Puppet. Kidding. Anyway, I'll be right back. Oh, show up on the slideshow, right? I'm not sure that all the 6 are in the slideshow. I gotta audit that slideshow at some point. There's stuff in there that I want to be in there that isn't, and stuff that is that probably shouldn't be, but you know. Coffee. Branding. It's all about branding. It's an attractive coffee mug. Speaking of the coffee mugs, those of you who won the coffee mugs in the Pixels and Puppets podcast contest, I'm hoping to get those out this weekend. I'm not sure I have enough boxes. I have to check. I may have to order some more boxes before I can send them out, but they will be going out, I promise. And I will send everybody emails with the tracking info on that and everything. Did a kill for squirrel, and it failed miserably. Thought it was installing, it was brutal and messy. I re-engineered it, and now I use the dull joint method pretty much all the time. Yeah, dull joints, like I say, love them to bits. Did I put it? I can't remember Kermit with. I do a photo with Kermit and like almost all the puppets I built. I could do a whole slideshow of just Kermit and other puppets that I built. Yeah, we should. I still got a load of that rainbow fur. We should plan the Pride build at some point for the upcoming season. Not sure what I'm gonna do this year. Maybe I should do a live hands. Big, not big. I mean, as big as it should be, never bigger. Small puppets are better. Remember. I hear Scarlett's excited. Use L200 to foam mats. Yeah, well, you know what? I need L200. I'm all out of L200. I should get some. No, not giant puppets. Unless you're doing it for the theater or for a specific reason, like you're building a Sweetums or something. Like Pride hands, am I right? Heyo. Big Bird Rainbow. Not a bad thought. Yeah, coffee break. I'm having a coffee break. I try, you know, I'm my own boss, so I try to be a good boss, and I'm allowing myself a bit of a coffee break. Oh, because next we got to get the drill press out to drill holes in this little plastic. I mean, I could try and punch them, but as Jojo has correctly pointed out previously, that you could risk cracking if you try and punch a hole in plastic. So better to drill. Have we lit the place on fire? No, we're not. I don't think we're. I mean, look, we've got about half an hour left. We're not getting the. We still have to finish this, and then I got to finish the hand sewing. We're not getting the vacuum form machine out this stream, but I promise on a future stream we'll do some vacuum forming. I am building 3 7-foot characters. I use the fitness mats, the ones that interlock. Yeah, those are great. They're essentially L200, yes. And I think, I'm not sure, you tell me, are they cheaper than just like getting L200 from like a cosplay supplier or something? I don't know, I've never actually priced it, so. I think the one time I bought L200, I bought it from possibly Weird Kids, can't remember. There's always time, I don't know. I don't know about that. Cheaper. Okay, that's what I thought. You know what? I seem to remember BJ Geyer talking about that. That's a good source of, inexpensive and accessible foam. Pro tip. Yeah, please do share. Because wow, I can't even imagine. I mean, I barely have room for myself in this room, much less a 7-foot character. Siri, I didn't say anything. Stop. Go away. Siri said okay. Cost me 150 for 50 square feet. Really, it'll cost 660 for a sheet of L200. Wow. No, there's going to be no Sweetums build. Oh, I would love to build a Sweetums, but wow, that's a year's project right there. Imagine how much I could sell that for. It's a replica. Nope. Nope. Not going to happen. All right, let's get back to work. Since we're doing the Dremel, I guess we'll do the shoulder cam. Yeah, I guess that's the best one. Siri knows what you want without asking. Yeah, but you can't trust anything it says. It's an AI. They're lying to us constantly and then defending their lies, as we know from Bing. Bing GPT. Absolute nonsense. Okay, getting the... Hopefully without knocking the cameras over, getting the drill press out. So speaking of safety, when you're doing this, you should have this anchored to the table. I'm going to be very gentle because I need to move this back and forth so I don't anchor it to the table, but it was expensive for a loan run, $60 per square foot from an FP. I need a different drill bit than this one. Do I have it here? I haven't used this in so long, there's like fur cruft all over it. Oh wait, here we go. This is a slightly bigger drill bit. Use this one. Okay. I have to get the safety goggles out because I do try and model responsible behavior. It's the same price. It's handy. It's super handy. Like I said, it should be anchored to the table. I'm doing it wrong. Don't do it like I do it. But I am getting the safety goggles out because safety second, at least, if not first. But we're just drilling a couple of holes. There we go. And I just knocked that. It's fine. Everything's fine. Don't panic. Look, nothing's on fire. That's the important thing. Okay, there we go. So now we have this plastic plate. Here we go. I should know the left-right thing for by now. I'm a puppeteer. So we got a plastic plate with 2 holes in it. And I got a couple of screws. No, I don't remember the size off the top of my head. They're thick-ish, but they're not so thick. Like these will go into... Just find the screws that seem to make sense. I use wood screws that have the pointy bit. And we just feed those in, and then we literally take a screwdriver and screw them into place. Now, one disadvantage of using these types of screws is you get a little bit of... I'll show you as soon as it's in. There's other ways to do this with like wooden dowels and things. This is just the quick and dirty way I do it. It's all based on the same principle, just for making a brace for the spheres to sit on. So there we go. We just have this little sort of bracket. I know it's hard to see with the right, this little bracket, and this is going to sit sandwiched between the foam and the fleece. And the screws are going to poke up through the fleece. So, Reindeer McFarlane, if you're still there, that's how I do it. And that's for everything. That's for the greeblies. That's for like anything I need to attach the 2 spheres. Because this will, since this is rigid, this will keep them together. They won't wobble around separately. It'll give them an anchor point. And then, like I said, we'll put some glue or epoxy inside the sphere. You can get these little glue, if I have any, maybe I don't. You can get glue syringes, which are as intimidating looking as they sound. Oh, here we go. All right. Well, I've got the paper from one. Here's another one. Anyway, you can get these. These are glue syringes, and yes, they're terrifying looking, but they're just big syringes that have these nozzles on the end, and you can just suck up some glue or some epoxy and inject it into, just make a hole in your ping pong ball, inject it into there, and then what I do is I let it sit, with gravity pulling it down, and I let all of either the glue or epoxy or whatever I happen to be using, pooling down around the screw, and that really sets it in place. Nice and hard. So that's it. That's all I do for attaching spherical eyes. Blue tack them to the ping pong balls. No, that's a bad idea. It's among the lesser ideas. Good, Raina McFarland's still here. So there we go. That's how I do it. I remember seeing, it was Ryan Dillon talking about one time being on TV with Elmo, and they were doing a live thing. Yeah, ping pong balls are very fragile, so when you're like screwing that down, you have to be just light touch, very gentle. It is possible to crush and collapse a ping pong ball. Brian Dillon talking about being on TV with Elmo, and one of his eyes popped off, and it was live, so there's nothing they could do. They just had to kind of roll with it. But he had mentioned that there's wooden dowels that they sit on. So I think what they do is they make a similar bracket to this, but they make it little wooden dowel ends, and they actually drill, or not drill, but I can't remember what it's called. You make like a bigger hole, and then you set the sphere. And I'm not even sure what they use for Elmo. I don't think it's ping pong balls. I would be surprised if it were. You set it onto that, and I'm sure you put glue or resin or whatever inside it. But it's all basically the same thing. You just need an anchor point to put the spheres onto. So there's that. But I am, as we have discussed, pro ping pong ball. I am an advocate for using ping pong balls. As long as and just get some practice. That's all it is. It's just sort of, but that's true with all of this stuff. You just have to use the materials and sort of figure out what their stress points are, what they're good at, what they're less good at, and figure out what works for your builds, right? I'm gonna get back to hand sewing, so we got a little detour there, but I really gotta finish this. So enjoy hanging out and watching me hand sew. And put the logo at the back. I'll actually sand off the logos, just in case I forget. Or if it's a build that you see most of this way around it, I always sand those off. I do also try and put the sanded point at the back as well, but sometimes that's just not gonna work out. Or put an eyelet over it, whatever. I need to find a tool that cuts ping pong balls perfect every time and does not go all wonky. So what I do for that, I have yet to find a tool that will do that. And yes, it is very difficult to cut a ping pong ball in half. So what you tend to do is you really have to do one ping pong ball per eye. I know it seems like you're trying to get it in perfect halves. You're probably not going to. So you cut it a little bit farther than you feel like it should, but then you trim it and sand it, right? So then you get 2 even ones, but you usually have to use 1 ping pong ball per eye. At least I do. They are made into halves, but they're fused together. Like, you're not gonna get those apart. But although it does give you a seam to follow if you're cutting. Yeah, for blinking eyes, never use ping pong balls. The wire for the blink eventually will eat through the plastic of the ping pong ball. That is true. If you are going to anchor something against a ping pong ball, you can get little rubber grommets. Not grommets, I can't even remember, like little gaskets. That will help. I have another tip. I've shown this before on stream, actually. We're getting distracted all over the place, but that's fine. This is fun to talk shop with the pros here. Let me show you the method I use for finding the center of a ping pong ball. I've shown this on stream before, but I don't know if y'all have seen it, so it's worth going over again, since I have to do this anyway. Let me grab a ping pong ball. These are the ones? Yeah, these are the ones. I won't bother sanding the logo off of this one just because this is for demonstration purposes. But as I think it was Scarlett correctly pointed out, ping pong balls are put together in two hemispheres, two halves. I need a little ring light here. Elmo's eyes are not very different as people think. Take a lot more work to build. Yep. Yeah, they heat seal these. So what I do is I take this ring light, which looks really cool on camera. I mean, this is because it's an arc reactor. And I got a pencil, and what I do is I basically use this as like a, like a tracing table. Because if you put this, I know you can't see this on camera. Maybe we can see it on the close-up camera. Let's see. Maybe this will work. It still looks cool. Oh, you can actually kind of see it. Okay, cool. So you see, you just barely see the center line here through the light. So I just take a pencil and this is just a little portable ring light. You can get these like, dollar stores, Amazon or whatever. And just mark the center line. And this is a quite reliable way of getting center. Other thing, if you want to find a kind of the central point, I'm not sure these ones do. Some of them, when they're made, at the very tip, there'll be like a little point of plastic. And you can sometimes find that and then just mark center. That's how I do it when I do a hole through the big ones to make the LinkMechs. But yeah, there you go, right? And there we go. You got a nice center line to follow for your trim. Little tip. I found this. I tried the sand and block method that Adam Kringer shows. It's good, but I find this to be a little bit more accurate, to be honest. Because it relies less on my ability to keep still, which is not good. So, cut them, use a pin and basically pin the line and then go back. Oh, that's interesting. I never even thought of that. Use a razor and a nail file. Oh, that sounds scary. What I do, here, I'll do it right now while we're doing this. Like I said, I usually use one ping pong ball per eye, or I'll make these in pairs and then just match up the uneven sides. I'll make a hole with an awl, and I'll make it just below the center line. Right? So we've got a hole just below the center line. And then I'll take some junk shears and I'll just get in there and I'll trim, but I'm not really worried about keeping too accurate. I'm just trying to get it in half. I'm trying to keep it as neat as I can, but obviously you're not going to get too great. Now it does mean you get one half with this big divot in it. This becomes an eyelid shell. Right, so then you've got this, which is the clean one that's the nice half, and you can just like sand this down or trim it, and that's all. Yeah, so these made into shells for eyelids, and then these get used for eyes. And you can like epoxy a doll joint in there or whatever you need to do. There we go. All the tips. This is a good stream. I should archive this. I archived them all. What were we doing? I was hand sewing. I'll eventually get to this hand sewing. We got too many good tips floating around chat here. This is exciting. Okay. I got this needle that I threaded. And where did I put the thing I'm supposed to be sewing? Hopefully not on the resin. Woo! Okay, now we chill and we hand sew. Just chew it smooth. Fire, it's always fire, Zap. Melt it smooth. Come on. You let me down. Here we go, back to the hand sewing. Difficult to stay on track with your. Oh, it's all good. It's all good. That's one of the nice things about these streams, right? We just get to do our thing. I do have things I need to accomplish, so those have to take priority. But in this case, that was absolutely worth sharing. We're sharing with the community and other buzzwords. Exciting hand sewing action. Good turnout today. I have noticed a correlation. This is why y'all are giving me bad behavior reinforcement on Wednesdays when I mention the podcast. Frequently, the numbers go up. You know. Check out Michael's from Barge. Some have it on discount. What? Thank you. What? Okay, guess what I'm doing after the stream? $20 for a can of Barge. That is insane. Squishy Productions, hello. You're just in time for exciting hand sewing and pro tips on cheap Barge. Wow, that's amazing. Thank you. I actually need Barge. I just opened my final tin, so it's time to order more. Perfect timing. You're gonna do Crazy Scums House of Barge. Our Barge prices are insane. Got to do the Gus voice for the marketing. Danger Honey, as we call it at Operation Puppet. I think Scarlett and I coined it Danger Honey. There you go. We can start a new thing. Do a builder collab video for a puppet. You know, not a bad idea. They did that thing, was it last year, the year before last? Actually, probably more than that now. The collaborative build with Swazzle and M. Kruger, and I don't know if CreatureWorks, you were in on that. I don't remember. Danger Honey is a different thing. I went to another store to see if they had it, and they had 6 cans, but at $30, so I only bought it 1. They'll be back though. Yeah, I mean, I gotta stop ordering on Amazon. Let me tell you, I gotta stop ordering anything on Amazon. I feel bad every time I do, and for good reason. Danger Heiny. It's not that kind of stream. We're family friendly around here. Operation Puppet After Dark. "15 more minutes of exciting hand sewing. Strap in, everyone." I don't know, after all the excitement of the ping pong ball tips, I don't know if I can handle anymore. I think it's probably good that we're cruising on the denouement here. Let's go Tundra Leather, and they sell it, but at $65. Yeah, I mean, I think I've got it from Tandy before, and it was about that. Or one time when I first started, I couldn't find it anywhere, and I ended up going to some cosplay supplier, I think in Montreal. I don't even remember. And again, about that price. Oh, right, yeah, sorry. We're doing the in-joke thing again and not including the new people. Danger Honey is a contact cement that's like glue, but more extreme, yes, and also dangerous to inhale the fumes. There, and looks like honey. Well, looks like a kind of honey. So we call it Danger Honey. It's this stuff. It is. You ever see this tin? It means the puppet builder is serious, or other brands that are of similar industrial quality. Cloudy honey, yes. It's got X. It's the danger that makes it cloudy. I get Persona blades that sell hair supplies. Ooh, that's another good tip. I need some. You know what I found? Here we go. Share the shop talk here. I can get Persona and they're fine, and you know, they are what they say on the tin. There's another brand called Diane that I think is a little bit easier to get in Canada. I found they tend to keep their edge a little bit longer, just by experience. But I don't know what you found or if you've tried them. But Diane hair shaper blades tend to be a little bit sturdier, and they don't dull as quickly as Personas. At least what I've been getting. Benson Lowe, yes. Speaking of professional puppet folk. Benson is a good chap. How did you make your pattern for Kermit? Do you have any tips for how to make it? Well, trial and error, honestly. And that is the tip. There are some patterns floating around out there. I do not recommend using them because the only value you're going to get, I mean, if you just want a Kermit, right, that's a whole different thing. But if you're going to make a Kermit, you're going to find that the act of trying and not getting it is a very valuable exercise. Yes, Benton is super nice. In fact, I should really follow up with Benton because we had discussed a long time ago about him possibly doing some work on the Oracle. You know, he's a professional and I just don't have the budget for it at the moment, but I would love to get more performers for the Oracle. I don't know if Jamie's around. I'll dig it up. I have a whole video series about making your own patterns from scratch. That's where I would recommend starting. It really, before you start trying to make a Kermit, just learn how to build a puppet, right? And a really good place to go for that, is here. But for patterns, projectpuppet.com sells very good beginner patterns and helps you with the techniques. So that's what I would recommend for that. And if you want something that's going to kind of get you in a Kermit-y direction, there's the glorified sock puppet pattern from projectpuppet.com. That's where I'd recommend starting. And it will at least give you a sense of the techniques and how patterns are made. That's really where you want to start. You got to start with a lot of theory, right? Don't start with the objective of making a Kermit. Start with the objective of making a puppet, and then go from there. Iterate on that. Yeah, the Pac-Man shape is kind of the foundational shape of a lot of puppet patterns, including the frog. Monkey Boys Productions. Yeah, I've seen their stuff. I haven't actually looked at any of their packages, but they are another place to go for like beginner patterns. Did they really appoint you to be? I had no idea. How very nice. I assume nobody's heard of me, so you know. But it is a relatively small, you know, community of people still. So you know, it's like I said before. If you don't know each other, you at least know of each other, right? I get my arm rods from them. Yeah, that's right. They sell like components and stuff too, don't they? Oh, very nice. It's so endearing and heartwarming to hear that somebody else has actually pointed people in my direction. Like, you know, 'cause I'm sending other people all the time. I want to try one of their puppet kits. Yeah. I should give them another look now that I know that they've been shouting me out. We talk about tech and video games around here. We're not stretching our horizons at all. It's at tech, video games, and the occasional puppet. Yeah. Well, that's it. You know, I still feel like I'm just getting started despite literally being one of the old guys. Yeah, Jojo, please, by all means. All of the links are in the link tree. I got the left-right thing correct that time, see? I think we got more networking going on. So yeah, oh, you made a Gonzo and an Elbow. Gonzo's tricky. Gonzo's a super tricky build. Yeah, well, this is like I was saying earlier. The problem with doing anything that's supposed to look like something that exists is you have a hard target, right? There's no wiggle room, particularly with something as iconic as Kermit. The second anything seems a bit off, you really notice it, right? I went to the Muppet Central forum. There were crickets. I remember going there. It was packed. Yeah. I honestly didn't even know it was still online. Is it like still a thing? I assumed they would have moved to at least Discord or some. Although you never know, BBS could be making a comeback. Thank you, Elon. Well, I got like about halfway through this. It's gonna be this for the rest of the stream, and we're almost at time anyway. So I think we're gonna end it here. Let me make sure I don't put this down in any resin. Okay, good. Wow, good stream. Like the pro chat. That's a real treat. Thank you, everybody. Also, I hungry. Yeah, I know at least some of the old archives are up. I remember coming across some of the posts when I was trying to get my Kermit together, which sounds like a euphemism for something, but I'm not sure what. Yeah, thank you very much, everybody. I'm going to go and have some lunch because I hunger, and Well, we'll do this again next week. What did I say? Join the Discord. Listen to the Pixels and Puppets podcast. There's at least a healthy dose of puppets as well as pixels. And thank you, everybody. I'm going to head out now. Yes, very nice chatting with you all, too. And, join the Discord, find out what we're doing. We may be doing something this weekend. We may not. I don't know. Stay tuned to the socials. You know the drill. Have a good day.